Okay, so we're on to Tuesday. Again, you should have already tried it on your own. By the time you get to here, you should have well, not every word because it's Tuesday, but every word that you can labeled, and now you're just checking your answers to see if you did it right. That way, if you have a question and you don't understand something, you can ask. Okay? So, on Tuesday, now that you've already done it, you've already looked for your simple subject, you asked who or what does the verb. Well, we already labeled the verb. We're in luck because we already know came is the verb. So who came back to Buck? The scene came back to Buck. That's the subject. And we already know this is the verb, so we just have to decide, is it verb transitive or oops, I'm sorry, I put that on the wrong word. My mistake. Is came intransitive or transitive? Did he came something? That doesn't really make any sense, does it? It's not done to anything, so it's a verb intransitive, which is what it says. Does not take a direct object. It's not done to something. Okay? Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. So we did our simple predicate. Now we need to look for our prepositional phrases. I labeled to with a preposition, so it has to start a prepositional phrase. To what? Buck. So that's my OP. To what? That was not a preposition. I forgot. That's an infinitive. In, that is a preposition. In what? His sleep. That is the OP, and that means my parentheses go here. You don't have to label the preposition here. I just did. Okay. So I only had two prepositions. That's my prepositional phrase, and I labeled my OPs, so I'm done with this page. I'm turning the page. I need to look for object complements, a direct object, not in a prepositional phrase. It follows an action verb. I did have an action verb. To find it, you say subject, verb, plus what? The scene came what? There is no answer, so I do not have a direct object, which means I also do not have an indirect object. This follows a linking verb, which I did not have. This follows a linking verb, which I did not have. And a positive where you rename the subject, I don't have that, so I don't have a positive phrase. I didn't have a noun of a direct address. An infinitive phrase, it's the same as a prepositional. I did have an infinitive, so I need to read this. It's the same as a prepositional phrase, except it starts with an infinitive and ends with the object of the infinitive, O-I-N-F. To find the O-I-N-F, you ask what after the infinitive. To trouble what? Him. So this, let's see. Okay, I'm going to mess with you. This is the infinitive, which begins. And it would make sense to end here, but doesn't in his sleep tell you when it came to trouble him? So this is really part of the infinitive phrase, so the infinitive phrase ends there. Okay? Oops. Doing that just reminded me that I forgot to label what kind of prepositional phrases these are. So backing up just a little bit, I have to ask myself, does this answer an adjective question? What kind, which one, or how many? Or does it answer an adverb question? How, when, where, or to what extent? The scene came where? To Buck. So that is an adverb prep phrase because it just describes the verb. In his sleep, then, it came back to trouble him where? In his sleep. So this is I'm going to write it underneath this time because this is an adverb prep phrase inside the infinitive phrase. And the reason it's inside is because it's part of it. It's describing the infinitive. Okay. I need to label the infinitive phrase. Oh, I don't need to label it, but I'm sorry, I forgot to label my object of the infinitive. To trouble what? Him. That's the O of the I-N-F, right? Or you could put an object of the infinitive if you want. Alright, that was a little bit convoluted. So to trouble was an infinitive, we knew that. We asked to trouble what? Him, object of the infinitive. To was a preposition, so we said to what? Buck, that's the object of the preposition. To Buck described where it came, so we know that's an adverb prep phrase. In his sleep described where it came to trouble him, where it troubled him, right? So that's an adverb prep phrase that's inside the infinitive phrase. And to trouble what? Him, so that's the object of the infinitive. Sorry, I got a little out of order. And sort of messed you up a little. So now, I didn't have a gerund and I didn't have a participle, so I'm done with that part. I need to find my complete subject, so it's the simple subject plus all its modifiers. So it's the scene. The went with scene. And that's it. And then the complete predicate I'll underline twice, and it's the verb plus all its modifiers. So came is the verb. Often, I already said, tells when it came, so that gets underlined twice. Back tells where it came. To buck tells where it came back to. To trouble him, it often came, yeah, it's all about describing where it came or why it came or whatever. It's obviously part of the verb. And there you go. Now Tuesday is finally done. That was a hard Tuesday.